sometimes I guess I'm such a mess. 'Cause this timepiece is spinning and your snapshot is missing, and I watch you go. I watch you go because this timepiece is spinning and your snapshot is missing, and I watch you go. I watch you go. Wait and you'll see my love, and I will be somewhere, I bet, inside my head. And I just wish for one last kiss, a final breath. I'm such a mess. 'Cause this timepiece is spinning and your snapshot is missing, and I watch you go. I watch you go because this timepiece is spinning and your snapshot is missing, and I watch you go. I watch you go.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good whatever freaking time it is for you. Welcome back for another fun-filled episode of the Matt Kohrs Show. I'm Matt, your Kohrs, and together we are the show. It is a beautiful Wednesday, March the 13th, but this ain't no normal Wednesday, March the 13th. This is a very special one because we are starting not the first, not the second, but the third official trading competition between Rumble Chat and YouTube Chat. I need to say Rumble Chat first, not just because it's alphabetically appropriate, but because they currently have a strain in their neck from the weight of a double crown situation on their head. In the first two trading competitions, Rumble has won, and then it came back and it won again. Right now, YouTube Chat, you should be embarrassed. You should look at yourself in the morning every single day and realize that that reflection is the major issue in your life. You are the problem in your own life. And honestly, if your performance is what it was like in the past two, how are you going to come back from being down 3-0? It does not make sense. So you got to look deep and hard in the mirror and maybe study a little bit more. You got to do something. But similar to the first, similar to the second, in this third competition, I have a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a tweak, just to keep things a little bit spicy, just to keep the audience entertained. So the way this one's going to play out, and I'll explain the details when time is a little bit closer, and I'm not going to have you guys vote until you know the full details of how this particular competition is going to play out. But I thought long and hard. I took a 6-7 hour shower last night until I had a Jimmy Neutron brain blast of a situation to realize exactly how trading competition numero trace should be going down. So don't vote yet. I don't want your vote yet because you need to know the twist on today. You need to know the twist on today. But of course, the overall mantra of Rumble versus YouTube will still be the main crux purpose of the trading competition. So that's going to be coming down. We'll start prepping for that when there's a couple more minutes until the bell goes dingity ding ding ding. So between now and then, there's other things we have to go over. Market looking a little bit suspect this morning, a little bit bullish, a little bit bearish, bouncing back right now. So I want to get into that. But obviously, yesterday, the S&P 500, the major market index here in the U.S., had its highest closing value ever. Not its highest value ever, but its highest closing value. Bitcoin also hit a new all-time high yesterday. And then as we were all fast asleep throughout the night, it hit another new all-time high. So we're going to be talking about that. But there's some other bigger things to pay attention to. For example, it is officially Biden versus Trump. we now know of all the primaries and all that good stuff. It is officially Biden versus Trump. So I want to break down what kind of happened and all that good stuff. But as it's not the biggest surprise. Like, I don't think anyone here's like, oh my God, the two people we're picking between are Biden and Trump. You might be thinking that from like an emotional standpoint of like, oh man, that's not good. But in terms of like odds and statistics and polling, I think we all knew it was going to be those two. So I want to break that down. I also want to break down how it feels like over the past year and a half, 2 years, there's always been these murmurs of TikTok getting banned in the US. And I know yesterday we kind of covered the story of, hey, Rumble said, hey, they're part of a consortium. They're more than willing to buy TikTok. There's a couple other investors saying, hey, from ByteDance, they're willing to buy the US subsector of TikTok and run it here. And it all comes back to our government. And they're saying they're selling our data back to China and the Chinese government has it and they're manipulating the algorithm. Might be right, might be wrong. I don't really particularly care. I care about, is it actually going to get sold? And I want to break down that story of what's happening and who's fighting it and all that good stuff. From there, I do have individual company news. For example, I want to talk about Rumble stock specifically because it looks like a potential squeeze is back on the menu, boys. So I want to break down the metrics of what's going on. Not only the technical breakout, but the actual underlying numbers to why it could squeeze, the utilization, the short interest, the cost to borrow, all that good stuff. From there, I want to talk a little bit on the EV sector and specifically how Tesla is getting hit this morning and why I actually think it's going to continue to get hit. So right now, I am a big fan of EV in the long term, but it looks like not only are they going to have a rough short-term period in the next couple of weeks, but I think they actually might have a legitimately entire rough year. I mean, it's such an interest rate sensitive industry. And with the Fed fund rate being so jacked up, not so good. So we're going to do some charting breakdown. I'm going to give you a heads up of all the major macroeconomic things to pay attention to today. If you're an energy trader, there is a crude oil inventory report. If you pay attention to fixed income, there is a 30-year bond auction. The results come out at 1 p.m. today. Talking a little bit about crypto. We have some reacts. We have a lot going down. It is going to be an absolutely packed show. So obviously, if you enjoy this type of degeneracy, don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Liking, subscribing, commenting. That helps out with the Rumble algorithm. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And it helps out what I guess I'll refer to as like my emotional stability algorithm. So if you want to pump the numbers up on all three of those, you guys know exactly what to do. Like, subscribe, comment. And with that being said, Piper chose to be with me again today. What? Piper. You guys want to see her real quick before we start the show? You guys want to? Yes, no. Yeah, yes, no. A quick. I'll wake her up from her nap. I don't want to wake her up from her nap when she's like deep into it, but she just walked in, so I feel like it'd be like someone. All right, quick. Time out on. Look how big she's getting. Look at this monster. Look at this little monster. Oh, look at her. Look at the size of this little junk. Look at the size of that jungle cat these days. They don't make them like this anymore. Look at this. Look at that. Stomach, length, tail. She goes inverted, deverted. She goes all the verts. Oh, but she's big. I don't know. I think she's clocking in. I'm not really good at weight, but I feel like she's like 40, 50 pounds maybe. She's getting a little thick. Kind of hard to hold, but she's still kind of liquid-like, you know? Like she's has a lot of liquid-esque personality. But yeah, no, she's, like I said, clocking in 40, 50 pounds if I had to guess. I don't know. I'm not the best at weight, but she's coming in a little bit hefty these days. You know what else is hefty? The market. Stock futures are a little changed after S&P 500 closes at new record high. I want to be breaking that down. I'm going to tell you what's going on, and I'm going to also tell you how it's completely illogical. Excuse me. We had the highest closing value ever yesterday on the S&P 500, but yet we got an inflation report that was higher than expected, which suggests tighter monetary policy. Not so bueno for the market. And we also got the result of a 10-year bond auction, which by no metric was good. The bid to cover ratio dropped and the high yield and the allotment at the high yield increased. So we had two things yesterday that by all fundamental measures, the market should have gone down. But guess what? The market can remain illogical longer than you can remain solvent. Did yesterday's action at all make sense? No. No, 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 no. And guess what? We went rippity skippity doodah anyway. Biden gets enough delegates to win the 2024 Democratic nomination. President Joe Biden on Tuesday won enough delegates to secure the Democratic presidential nomination. Biden's surge past the required 1,968 delegates with a primary victory in Georgia. He narrowly won the state in the 2020 general election. Well, he's the incumbent, so it's really not that big of a surprise. Former President Donald Trump, almost certain to be Biden's rival in November, could get enough delegates on Tuesday from primaries in Georgia, Mississippi, and Washington state for the Republican nomination. He did. They were very much correct in that assumption. Trump wins Republican nomination, setting up rematch with Biden. It's official. Write it down. Biden versus Trump, round dose. Trump secures enough delegates to become the GOP candidate. President predecessor geared up for a combative election race. You heard it here first. They will be physically fighting. It's right there. That's what combative means. They will be beating the shit out of each other.
Trump's ability to turn the legal woes that would have ended any other politician's careers into a battle cry. Where are the polls standing for the two candidates at this stage?
Well, Lizzie, you're right that since the indictments of former President Trump, he did solidify support within the Republican Party, and all of his major opponents long since dropped out. The last one, Nikki Haley, dropped out after Super Tuesday. So it's now, it wasn't a surprise that the former president locked up the nomination. This is one of the earliest moments in the calendar for a non-incumbent to secure the nomination. Current President Biden also locked up the nomination on the Democratic side. The next big thing to look to is the first trial, the first criminal trial for the former president. That is scheduled to begin at toward the end of this month. That's related to alleged hush money payments to an adult film star in 2016, allegedly.
Wait, they're still doing the whole Stormy Daniels thing? That's still news?
Depends on what's going to happen at the Supreme Court, which is currently considering former President Trump's claim about immunity. So a lot to look forward to, a lot of things that could disrupt things in the months ahead.
So to put that another way, congratulations, America. We are picking between the lesser of two evils. We did it. We are getting exactly what we deserve. Let's be honest. You're not a good person. I'm not a good person. We are not good people, and we are getting exactly what cosmic irony says we should get. So congrats, folks. It's all of it's your fault. It's my fault. We are all getting exactly what we deserve. But with that, it is prompting other drama. Republican National Committee fires staff after Trump takeover. More than 60 staffers dismissed after new leaders take control. RNC Trump campaign will work side by side in the 2024 election. So literally a day into it, and they are already cleaning house and letting things rip. So that's your little bit of your political update. I don't think anyone's really surprised by the statistics. You might be upset, wishing, hey, in a country of 350 million people, why can't we find two people who are physical specimens, intellectual titans, as moral as Mother Teresa herself? Yeah, you would think statistically we could find two of those people. The issue is people that meet all that criteria, they understand that they don't want to be in the government, they don't want to be in politics because it is the dirtiest game out there, and they probably feel like they could just do better things with their life. So it's kind of a catch-22 scenario, and unfortunately it leads us to being where we are, but I don't know. This is going to be the start of a very long journey. Here we are in mid-March. It's just going to ramp up at an exponential rate all the way until November. And then we're going to have the fallout after November. And then craziness is going to happen in January with whoever is the next president. It's just going to get nuts. So do you guys have flashbacks to all the election year cycles where all of the ads, this, that, the other thing, media can't stop talking about it? That's what it's going to be. That's 100% what this is going to be. Going to be nuts. Anyway, bringing it back to what happened yesterday, we got the CPI report. The Consumer Price Index report, a measure of inflation, came in hotter than expected, which is honestly tying this back to what we just covered with Biden. Whether his fault or not, and we could have a very long discussion about that, a lot of the times people vote with their checkbook. And this concept of Bidenomics, the economy is so great, the market's so great, you should vote for me because it's a vote for more money in your pocket. Well, that's great verbiage. It's great copyright. It sounds great to the ear. Unfortunately, the average person is not feeling that, because when they go and buy something, they're like, why is this double the price it used to be? Why is my pay not the double it used to be? Why is the ratio of the money I'm saving and the money that's going out getting worse? And there's a big disconnect, and that's going to be one of the hardest things that the Biden administration is going to have to, in terms of galvanize their voters. They're going to have to battle that, because they can be, Bidenomics is great, we added so many jobs, blah, blah, blah. But it's just not resonating with anyone, because the average voter, the average person, doesn't care if the person in power prompted it or not. They care if they're fixing it. And right now, Biden is not fixing it. By all quantifiable measures, inflation is still too hot, prices are still too high, and the average person is still feeling the pain in their wallet. So they're going to have a big overhaul. And in reality, if they can't fix it, that's most likely going to be the dagger in the heart, because as much as people want to virtue signal and sit on the high horse of all the social progressive issues of their time, yeah, you might get some votes for that. But most people, they're like, oh, yeah, no, that's cool, but I also can't pay my bills, so I'm going to vote for that first. And once again, it's the classic thing in the world of politics is don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. And right now, there's a bunch of good stories that are ripping, and the current story related to the market and to the economy, specifically the economy, is not one that is so bueno for the Biden campaign. Maybe they'll be able to come up with a spin that starts to get a bit of traction, resonates with people. But as of now, freeze frame still shot of the current moment in time. I mean, we see it in the polling. This isn't me and just talking to my friend group and conjecture. The polls are suggesting that the weakest point for Biden is his stance on the economy and his stance on the southern wall or the southern border. And I should say lack of wall. I guess that's a Freudian slip. So we'll see if they could turn it. But right now, it's actually not even trending in the right way. So we'll see. And then if Biden, I suppose if Trump just attacks that weakness on Biden, I'll fix the economy and I will fix the southern wall, like the wall again. Even I don't know why I keep saying the border, which I guess the whole argument last time was the wall and then Mexico would pay for it, but that obviously never happened. I don't know. The whole southern border / wall issue is an interesting one. But coming back to the economy, it'll be interesting how it goes, because I mean, even right here, we all sit here, we pay attention to it. That's why you guys are here. We're degenerately trading. We're degenerately knowing that the market just closed at an all-time high. That's a huge disconnect. The market at its highest value ever, yet no one's feeling like that in terms of the economy. No one's feeling like that whatsoever. So it is strange. There's a massive disconnect. In the short term, obviously today, energy traders, as I alluded to before, crude oil inventories coming out at 10:30. Crude oil sitting about 78, so almost at that breakout level of 80. And then important for the world of bonds and yields and gold and Bitcoin and the dollar, at 1 p.m. today, just past lunch, we get the results of the 30-year Treasury auction. Definitely an important one. Now, drilling down a little bit to some specifics, technically, there's still a bunch of earnings, but earnings season is effectively over. We heard from Dollar Tree this morning, and it was not so good. Dollar Tree posts downbeat result, plans to shut nearly 1,000 stores. Dollar Tree down on the news. Now, even though they don't have any earnings right now, the other company that is clearly in the news is TikTok. And as I was saying before, over the past year to 2 years, there's kind of been like a couple stories here and there. Is TikTok going to be banned in the US? And then it got a little bit more developed when a bunch of government agencies on government, like if you were a government employee, you couldn't have TikTok on your phone. So it was at a certain government level, and obviously all boils down to the CCP, and obviously TikTok is owned by ByteDance. ByteDance is under the control, obviously, of the Chinese government, because every major company there is under the control of the Chinese government. So for whatever reason, it was like there's kind of spurts of it. Like it caught a cycle of, are they going to ban TikTok? No one talked about it. Are they going to ban TikTok? No one talked about it. But right now, this actually feels legitimately different. This does feel as if there's like more traction than there's ever been in the US for a potential ban of TikTok. TikTok plans a legal fight in US divestment bill becomes law. TikTok intends to exhaust all legal challenges before it considers any kind of divestiture from Chinese parent company ByteDance Ltd. if the latest US legislation targeting the app becomes law. A sale of the viral video app is considered to be the last resort for the parent company ByteDance. A divestiture, which means they have to sell it, would also require approval by the Chinese government, which said last year that it would firmly oppose a for sale. No plans are final. That would depend on how the legislation progresses. TikTok Chief Executive Officer Mr. Chu went to Capitol Hill yesterday, Tuesday, to lobby against the bill that would force the app's Chinese parent to sell it or face a ban in the U.S. The bill was advanced by a key committee last week, and to move forward, the bill would need to clear a floor vote in the U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday, today, the furthest any federal TikTok legislation has gotten. This is the extent. Now, obviously, remember that video, that weird cartoon we watched all growing up of how a bill becomes a law? It has to go us through the reps, then the Senate, then it would go to the president, and then there would be a big legal battle between like, is it legal, is it not? And then even if they're like, yeah, no, it is legal, then there would be a big fight with the Chinese government to even try to do it. So this is, yes, the farthest it's ever been, but please understand it is an exhaustive road ahead for this to ever become a reality. It's not something that would just by any means happen overnight. TikTok focuses on Senate as House heads toward divestment vote.
Yesterday, we got the annual report on global threats. And here's what it had to say. China is demonstrating a higher degree of sophistication in its influence activity. It goes on to say TikTok accounts run by a PRC propaganda arm reportedly targeted candidates from both political parties during the U.S. midterm election cycle in 2022. If they know this, and you also had Christopher Wray on the Hill yesterday talking about the national security concerns, how can any politician vote against this?
Well, that's what I've always said, that in politics, when you're explaining you're losing, the vote last week in the Energy and Commerce Committee in the House was 50-0. So no one wants to vote against it. But as soon as that bill passed, the top Democrat on that committee, he's in the minority, came out and outlined a number of those concerns. It is bonkers to think that you would have a foreign government,
he says,
that is not an ally, controlling what people are seeing here in the United States. When I talked to national security officials after the October 7th terrorist attacks in Israel, there was a lot of concern of how quickly, especially among the youth, there were sentiment shifts that were not expected. As we go into the election, there's going to be even greater concern about those influences on voting. So ultimately, something has to change here. It's just a question of that process in the timing at this point in my mind.
Former President Donald Trump has thrown some cold water on this bill. Does that change the minds of some Republicans?
In a little bit, yes, but that's why the FBI director, the
I'll add
office
context to that of why he's throwing water. Basically, he just doesn't want to embolden Facebook
today to discuss with the members of the House why they think this is a national security imperative. I do think it is part of the reason why you saw some members of the Senate come out and say, we are not willing to just adopt the House version. First and foremost, the Senate almost never takes what the House does and just signs it into law. But what you need to do in the Senate, if you were to take the House bill, is unanimous consent. So it denies the ability of unanimous consent. It is actually a gift to Democrats who want to make some of these changes that Republicans are not going to be able to blame them. There'll be at least one or two Republican senators who is blocking this bill, giving the opportunity for the Senate to do their work. And the question is, can what the Senate produce and what the House produce get reconciled and make it to Joe Biden's desk? Will we see an actual impact on TikTok before the election? I'm pretty skeptical.
Right there. It's going to take time. And that's just the way the U.S. government works and how bills become a law. It literally just takes time. So the chance of this being pushed through is slim to none at the current moment. But that isn't stopping some interesting moves. Rumble. Shout out to everyone watching on Rumble. Yesterday, Chris Pavlovski, the founder and CEO and chairman of Rumble, publicly posted a letter reaching out to the CEO of TikTok under ByteDance there and saying, hey, we're more than happy to be a part of a consortium that actually buys the US version of TikTok. And then Rumble, it was kind of perfect timing because they just released Rumble Cloud. He said, hey, we will provide the cloud support for TikTok. Awesome. On that news, if you guys kind of missed it a little bit, Rumble stock had a huge technical breakout. So let's rewind to mid-January. Huge pump, came down a little bit, and then ripped all the way up to $8.36. From there, we had a bit of a consolidation right into the EMA cloud. And then on the news of Rumble Cloud and also this discussion with TikTok, huge technical breakout. And what I'm looking for is the fact that it even got to 8. I recognize that as a big win. But what I'm looking for is the push and close above the high from February 8th at 836. Definitely worth a spot on your watch list if you haven't been paying attention to it, because there is 18% short interest. Cost to borrow, 43. Utilization pretty much maxed out, coming in just below 97%. Definitely worth a spot on your watch list. Another thing that is worth a spot on your watch list is Tesla. Tesla is I shouldn't say officially because the market hasn't opened yet, but pretty much looks like it's going to break down. My next level of support would be 165. Try to go all the way up. Couldn't hold the wedge. Broke down. Came right to the support that we saw in early Feb. And on some pretty negative news this morning, coming down below this level, if it keeps going, my next target would be 164 in the short term. EV euphoria is dead. Automakers trumpet consumer choice for U.S. car shoppers. Automakers from Ford, Motor, and General Motors, and Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Jaguar, Land Rover, Aston Martin, list goes on and on and on. Right now, there is a bit of awkwardness in the world of EV, and it's just because they are such highly impacted by the world of interest rates. So if interest rates are high, not many people are buying new cars. If you're not buying new cars, it really just stifles the current growth rate of EV. In the long term, I still think it's going to be fine, but in the very short term and probably for the remainder of the year, EV is just a tough one. What is this breaking news? Jamie Dimon endorses Disney CEO Bob Iger in proxy fight with Nelson Peltz's Train Partners. All right, we could come back to that later. Tesla specifically getting downgraded. Wells Fargo downgrades Tesla, sees the EV stock dropping nearly 30% from here. Something to consider. That's why on top of EV slowing down, Tesla specifically, analysts downgrading its price target. That's another reason why Tesla's under a little bit of pressure this morning. Now, very quickly before I switch it over to you guys, sign up for the newsletter, macros.locals.com. My mods will post it in chat. This is free to sign up. I break down the week. I let you know all the major macroeconomic events. I give you all the earnings. Most importantly, I give you the seasonality for each individual day. Today's a little bit confusing because even though the Bulls have won it 64% of the time over the past 25 years, when the Bears win it, they win it at bigger size, especially a couple of years ago. This is that one day drop, maybe back in like 2020-ish, maybe 2019. But anyway, so the bias kind of nets out to neutral from just a seasonality standpoint. And then I also break down Piper's trades. Speaking of which, today is day 3 of my comeback tour. Friday of last week, I took a big beat and I've decided to commit myself to monk-like trading discipline until I make all of that money back. And I'm happy to report that yesterday I made 2K, 1.886 after all the commissions and trading fees and all that stuff. But anyway, Piper fired off at 10:08 in the morning, bullish 4 out of 5 confidence, a SPY put credit spread, a Q put credit spread. I ended up myself playing it on SPX, and that's how I made about 2K in one day. So that was day 2 of the comeback tour. Today is day 3. If you want to be a part of this, if you want to learn about Piper, my trades, other people's trades, private lectures on the weekend, all that good stuff, that's exactly in the Goonie Discord. The first month is completely free. Just make sure you apply the code Goonie. Sign up today. You literally have nothing to lose. And last but not least, 5 things to know before the stock market opens today. Monday, market momentum. Overall, all right, we're coming back a little bit. The SPY, pretty much just above where it closed yesterday. The Q's a little bit weaker. There's a tad bit of technical weakness, or I should say in the tech sector. IBM cuts, IBM laying off some people. Oh, Yeezy, Adidas running into issues with the whole breakup with Kanye West. More Boeing, more problems. Boeing every single week has problems. Inside retail crime, CNBC, I guess, is now I guess researching and infiltrating crime circles, and that relates to retail, but whatever. We will cover that later. Now, I do want to explain something. Today is the start of the newest trading competition number 3 between Rumble and YouTube. Rumble has won the first one and the second one. Now let's see what happens with the third one. As always, I'm going to ask you guys, are you bullish? Are you bearish? Whatever the majority votes, that will be the bet at market open. But there's a little bit of a twist. I have this wheel. I will spin this wheel. You'll notice there's no numbers on it. If it lands on red, the official vote will be reversed. If it lands on black, whatever you guys voted, it will go with that. So for example, let's say one of the chats says, we're bullish. I'm going to spin this wheel. If it lands on red, the trade will actually be bearish. But if it lands on black, I will go with what the allotted trade is. So I need you guys to all vote, but I also need you to consider, what is the wheel gonna say? The wheel has the chance of reversing the official vote, and today's day one. So with that being said, I do need you guys to vote rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble. We're running a little bit under time, so I need you guys to speed it up real fast. Are you bullish or are you bearish? Like, guys, we're running out of time. This needs to be done within like the next minute and a half. Are you bullish or are you bearish? Bearish, bearish, bullish, bearish, 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 bullish, bearish. Okay, so Rumble is going bearish. And all right, YouTube voted and they voted bullish. So the first roll will be for Rumble. Rumble voted bearish, but let's see if the wheel agrees. Reversed. Reverse. So Rumble's actually going bullish. And then what do you guys have over here on YouTube? Also reversed. Ooh, this is going to get interesting. So Rumble, you are actually bullish, and YouTube, you are actually bearish. Bearish. The wheel reversed both of them. On the left side, you have YouTube, account 138. On the right side, you have Rumble, account 139. I did an extensive amount of coding. If I coded it right, it should no hands. I wanted to equalize this trading competition as much as I could. No hands should fire off the trade. All right, left side is YouTube. They voted bullish, the wheel reversed it. Rumble is the right side. They voted bearish, but the wheel reversed it. The wheel reversed both this morning. Let's see how it plays. It's a new little twist that you all need to take in consideration. And the market should be opening in about 10 seconds. Let's see if the code works. Let's see how this all plays out. The official start of trading competition number 3 between Rumble and YouTube chat. Best of luck to all.
Filled.
I don't know what happened. I don't know how.
Order filled.
I'm confused. I don't know. I guess everyone made money. What happened?
Order submitted. Order filled.
What's going on right now? Hello? All right. There's a high probability I somehow broke something. I don't know what's going on. What is going on?
Order filled.
Why did only one account not trade? Hello? Well, folks, hang on. Let me review. This was not supposed to happen. 116. What did I do? 116 was selected. Did it not trade? All right. When you want something done, you're going to have to do it yourself. When you want something done right, I suppose. I don't know why this one account didn't trade. I don't like doing any of this manually, but sometimes you just got to let it rip.
Order filled. Target filled.
All right. Bada bing, bada boom. Lock them all in. So let's review. Oh, perfect tie after day one. Account 138, account 139. 138 highlighted right now is YouTube's. 139 is Rumble's. Both have secured $135 on the day. Both have secured $135 on the day. Congratulations to day one for all competitors involved. After day one, perfectly tied. And then for the rest of these accounts, I don't know really what happened. It all seems a little sketchy if you ask me, but I don't really want to ask too many questions. So let's just shut this down. They're all still running. All right, well, I should uncheck all of the strategies so they stop running. That feels like a smart move. All right, shutting it down. Congratulations to all competitors. Day one officially in the books, and after day one, it was tied. I think we're getting there. I'm getting the vibe that we're getting there to like where the code needs to be. But that was something. That was a little bit of a sketchy opening. I didn't know why the one didn't trade, but it might have traded, and maybe it was just like a break-even trade. That's totally possible. So anyway, day one of the competition, locked in. While we're waiting for the market open, very quickly, shout out to Meta PCs. This is the computer I use for my trading, my streaming, all that other stuff. Check it out, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Go to metapcs.com/Kohrs, and they're going to be an excellent selection for any of your computer paraphernalia needs. So if you need a new computer, a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, anything related to the worlds of computers, check out Meta PCs. They're based in the US. I personally dealt with the CEO. I personally dealt with a lot of their employees. They are great people, awesome response time, and they actually know what they're talking about, which is kind of a rarity when it comes to the world of computers or anything related to computers. So I know you're not buying computers every single day. That would be a crazy thing. If you do buy a computer every single day, you probably should look into that. That doesn't seem too good. So the next time you need one, I don't need you to rush out right now unless you're already planning on buying a computer today, then check out Meta PCs. But just the next time you think, oh, I need a keyboard, I need a mouse, I need anything like that, check out Meta PCs, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. It's always there, so you could come to any of my videos and come back. And when you're checking out, to get a bit of a discount, use the code GOONIE, GOONIE. And if you choose to do this, make sure you tell them that I sent you their way. Shout out to Meta PCs for being a sponsor of today's show. And on that note, a little bit of the old switcheroo today. Dude, Rumble's already looking good. Rumble's already looking good above $8. So the SPY opened above yesterday's close and quickly traded down to it. All the people in the Discord know exactly what that means. And if you're looking at the Qs actually opened below. So weird disparity. The SPY opened above the high or the close from yesterday while the Qs opened below. A little bit of a mismatch between the overall market and the tech sector. RUM's ripping. Bitcoin's trading at 72,700 after hitting an all-time high overnight of 73,700 and almost 999 at the end. So yes, as we were all sleeping, we got a little bit of bullishness. I see some people commenting on IWM. What's going on with the small cap sector? You said it's going crazy? Well, it looks like it got annihilated the past 3 days. It's up 0.5%. Strong open for sure. On the daily chart, not the most exciting thing. Decent recovery. So intraday, small caps looking good. On the daily, this might just be the classic Valley setup. So I would definitely be interested in being bullish on this right now. I mean, your risk would be this recent low, 203.42, and maybe you could ride this puppy back up to 209, 210, something like that. Pretty reasonable risk reward. Very, very reasonable risk reward on that one. All right, the SPY trading down, going flat a little bit. The Q's trading down, going flat a little bit. So technically, whose vote was right? Technically, Rumble's vote was right. A little bit of a bummer that they got reversed. Little bit of a bummer that it got reversed on you, but hey, it still ended up working out for all of you guys. Rum is just taking off. The line in the sand, I'm telling you guys, the line in the sand is right here, 836. 836. We're ripping right to it. I told you. I've been telling you. I'm saying, man, this is a potential short squeeze. This is your potential short squeeze alert on Rumble. 18% short interest. The float is not that big. They have fundamental news, a fundamental catalyst. They have a very, very devout, loyal fan base. Like, this is something to pay attention to. Without a doubt, something to pay attention to. Zoom in. What else do we have? What else? So I'm watching 836 on Rumble. We have Bitcoin taking on a little bit of a dippity dive this morning. A little bit of a dippity dive. Actually, I'm still waiting. I don't know. I don't really like making core positions this early in the day. I like to wait the first, 10, 20, 30 minutes. So while we're doing that, let's talk about what in the world is going on with Bitcoin. How crypto bros think they look. Well, when crypto as a whole thing is ripping to a new all-time value of 2.7 trillion, yeah, it makes sense that you're somehow an electrified rip koala. It makes sense. But very legitimately, Bitcoin currently trading at 72.5, worth 1.4 trillion. And like I said, the overall crypto sphere right now worth 2.76 trillion, which is another new all-time high. Bitcoin eyes 74,000 as BTC ETFs see a record 1 billion in net inflows. I've been pounding this into all of your skulls. Price is the equilibrium of supply and demand. These inflows represent demand. People are buying the ETFs. The ETFs, regardless of price, have to go out and buy Bitcoin. They're not looking at the RSI. They're not looking at the MACD. They're not thinking to themselves, oh, maybe I should wait for a pullback. That's not how ETFs work. ETFs say, hey, all this money came in. We have to go buy X amount because that's how much money is currently in the fund. And they're just buying. They don't care about price. All they care about, dude, it is the easiest thing ever. They are basically just, oh, rum just broke out. Rum is running. It just tagged 836. All right, obviously we're coming back to that. But anyway, supply, demand. The equilibrium is price. These ETFs, as money goes into them, they have to go out and buy. It's a very thin brook up top. Not many people are willing to sell Bitcoin, so they just have to keep going higher and higher and buy at higher and higher prices, which means the price goes higher and higher, which gets more people excited, so they go out and buy more because they see it ripping. It is very quickly a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's just a very positive, bullish cascading effect. Spot Bitcoin ETF took in 14,706 Bitcoin, or over 1 billion in net inflows on Tuesday alone. Bitcoin reversed Tuesday's decline to climb over 73,000 early this morning. Spot BTC ETFs noted the highest inflows in both Bitcoin and dollar terms since they started trading in January. All this right here, it sums up to the fact that momentum is not slowing down. But wait, there's more. Remember, right now, these inflows, 12, 13, 14x the amount of new Bitcoin hitting the market every single day from the mining. Don't forget, a month from now, in mid-April, the amount of new Bitcoin hitting the market is going to get cut in half because of the halving. It's crazy. It's the most ridiculous imbalance of demand and supply we've ever seen. And it makes no surprise that the price is going up. Look at this. The assets under management for Bitcoin, ever since we see this right here on CoinGlass, it is just ripping. There's never in the history of Wall Street been more appetite or fervor or just pure excitement for anything beyond these Bitcoin spot ETFs. It is the most ridiculous thing. Right now, BlackRock has over roughly $13 billion in assets under management. Fidelity's coming in at 8, ARK has 2.5. It's billions and billions and billions of dollars. And honestly, it's one of the most rudimentary math equations out there. When demand is this extreme and supply is not catching up, price has to go up. And like I said, Rumble, we covered it before. I covered it in the update video yesterday. Breaking out of this, what's this next little one? I would love to see it take out 859. I would also love to see it take out 889. So these are some recent spikes we saw late August and then also early August. And then past that, I don't know, we'll just keep doing some upside targets just in case today gets a little bit nutty. 933. But you're seeing it. You're seeing the rippity skippity doodah. While I'm waiting for more of the overall market to kind of open up, see what these opening ranges are, I do want to remind everyone, yes, I'm a Rumble content creator. Yes, I'm invested in Rumble. It's not like I am a non-biased party. I'm invested in Rumble. I have thousands of shares of this stock. My average fill is somewhere in the sevens, like either the low or the mid sevens. So I'm officially in my green. Some of it's in my public account. Some of it is in my retirement account. Some of it is in another random brokerage. So it's kind of dispersed of where I own it. I wish I kind of did it all in my long-term account. But hey, looking good for me. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Rum just broke 836. Yes, I'm well aware. And my next upside target is 859, and after that 889. So these are just some recent peaks that we've seen: 859, 889. And all you really need to know is Rumble, as a company, has a very devout fan base, a very loyal customer base, client base, user base. On top of that, there also happens to be a considerable short interest, right in the realm of 18%. The cost to borrow for those shorts is considerably high. And right now, with some fundamental developments such as Rumble Cloud, such as them really expanding on the rack, the whole just like their advertiser, the Rumble creator program thing. They have the small creator program. They're expanding their advertising. They're just clearly trending in the right direction. This is going to put a lot of downward pressure on the shorts in their position because the stock's going up. And these shorts, the more they feel pressure, they might throw in the towel. If they throw in the towel, they have to buy back. If they have to buy back, price goes up even more. It's another classic supply-demand issue. So right now, Rumble's having a great day. In fact, on my watch list, it is up the most. It's up 7%. It's crazy. Zupchuck, 716 average here. Okay, curious question. For all of those of you who have Rumble stock, what is your average price? Are you guys in really low, like the 3, the 4s? Are you in right about here, the 7, the 8s? Are you in above 10? Just out of my own curiosity, I'm curious, are most of you guys in the green? Are you kind of break even? Are you deeply in the green? We have a 596, we have a 645, we have a 492, we have a 420, we have a 602, a 690, 633, 434, 494, mid 5s, 560, 879. Well, we're coming to get you apparently today. 6, 402, 9. So actually most, not all, I can't say all, but most of you are actually up a pretty decent percentage right now. Got in yesterday at 680. All right, I'm seeing a lot of 5s and 6s. There's a couple people who are like slightly underwater right now. The highest one I saw was somewhere in the 9s, or like maybe you said 9 flat, but a lot of you are crushing it. Congrats. Now I want to clarify. Even if this squeezes, I'm not really actively trading Rumble. If I decide to actively trade it, I will tell you very far in advance. It's not going to be one of these things where I'm like, oh, I actually got out. No, I would tell you what I plan on doing. And right now, my plan, very transparently, is to do nothing. It's to do absolutely nothing. If the way I look at it is risk reward. I'm already in the green. And there is a chance that Rumble becomes another tech social media titan, which means 5, 10 years, 20 years down the line, it could be worth a lot if things obviously break in its favor. That's what I'm looking for. So for me, I'm not risking much because I'm in the green. I could easily set like a trailing stop loss or something like that. But it's just, I have a long-term vision of where this is going. In the short term, if it were to squeeze, that's awesome. It's a great story. It'll bring a lot of excitement to the company with the elevated stock price. Hopefully it makes the company more mobile. They might be able to do other things that really fundamentally insulate it. Better acquisitions, get more content creators, hire more employees, build out their cloud infrastructure even more rapidly. There's other things that if it were to squeeze, I still think it would benefit me as a long-term investor because of the agility it would afford to the actual leadership team. I mean, even yesterday we saw the whole what's going on with TikTok and like they're getting money. We know historically they were talking about Joe Rogan and they made him an offer with Patrick Bet-David. Unfortunately, obviously that didn't come to fruition. But with more money, you could just do more stuff. More money, you could do more stuff. So, but anyway, even though Rumble's looking good, Rumble's putting the market on its back today because the SPY, pure vomit, Qs, pure vomit. Pure vomit, pure vomit, pure vomit. Speaking of that, I think Rumble Cloud. All right. Let me know if I'm missing any breaking news. I'm doing my best to be patient and trying to just sit on my hands till like at least 10 a.m. I'm currently on the floor managing the debate against TikTok ban. This is the opening statement. Oh, wait, what's this guy saying about TikTok ban?
The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I know the sponsors of this bill are sincere in their concerns and in their effort
Market's vomiting
to
hard.
protect Americans. They've described the TikTok application as a Trojan horse, but there's some of us who feel that either intentionally or unintentionally, this legislation to ban TikTok is actually a Trojan horse. Some of us are concerned that there are First Amendment implications here. Americans have the right to view information. We don't need to be protected by the government from information. Some of us just don't want the president picking which apps we can put on our phones or which websites that we can visit. We don't think that's appropriate. We also think it's dangerous to give the president that kind of power, to give him the power to decide what Americans can see on their phones and their computers. To give him that sort of discretion, we also think is dangerous. Now, people say that this TikTok ban will only apply to TikTok or maybe another company that pops up just like TikTok, but the bill is written so broadly that the president could abuse that discretion and include other companies that aren't just social media companies and that aren't, as some people would believe, controlled by foreign adversaries. Again, we're giving the president that discretion to decide whether it is controlled by a foreign adversary. There were some people who were legitimately concerned that this was an overly broad bill, and they got an exclusion written into the bill that I want to read. It says, the term covered company does not include an entity that operates a website or application whose primary purpose is to allow users to post product reviews, business reviews, or travel information and reviews. Why is this exception in the bill? Why did somebody feel like they needed this exception if the bill itself only covers social media applications that foreign adversaries are running? These and other questions we hope to answer in the course of this debate, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Kentucky reserves the...
All right. Question to all of you folks. Do you think TikTok should be banned? Or do you think, no, it's in one form or another against our Bill of Rights? I guess I'm personally torn on it because I think it's very evident that China is manipulating the US version of the algorithm. I also think it's very evident that our data is going back to China. So that stuff I don't agree with. But it really, why does our government have the right to be like, nope, no one in this country is allowed to use our app? So it's weird because I truly, truly believe what China and ByteDance are pulling off should not be pulled off. But I also don't think our government can come in and say, no, you're not allowed to ban that. So it's interesting. So ban no, divest yet. So maybe that's the way, but then the way that they're going to force the divestment, the divestiture, I should say, is through it shouldn't be banned. You can't, in the US, that is a very authoritarian thing to do. You cannot just ban an app. That is, you can't do that. That's a freedom of speech issue. But then maybe some of the illicit things, or the data trail of where the data is going, maybe the government can make some sort of rule there, that the data trail is not allowed to lead back to China. But it's an interesting problem. It's a very, very interesting problem because we have free speech. We have a Bill of Rights. We do not have an authoritarian government, or we shouldn't have an authoritarian government. So to give them the power to be like, nope, we're just going to ban that app straight up. And then it seems really vague. As that gentleman was just saying, Thomas, whatever his name is, it was a very high level thing, which kind of gives them quite a bit of power in the future to be like, yeah, no, we're just getting rid of that app. That's sketchy. But then also what's sketchy is our data going back to China. So maybe a more nuanced, specific bill that forces the divestiture of the US version of TikTok from ByteDance in here, or maybe the data centers or the data providers or the data storage related to it has to be in the US, has to run by a US company. So even if ByteDance is still running it, all the data is in the US and can only stay in the US, something. And it feels like there's going to be a happy medium that's reasonable. Make your own version of it, problem solved. Yeah, but even if you were to perfectly copy it, like, does it get traction? You know, a lot of people already spent quite a bit of their lives like building up their social media presence, and they have followers, they have brand deals. So it's not as easy as, oh, just make another one. Like, you just can't do that. Of course, you're allowed to make a new one. I mean, we had Vine. I mean, you could argue that TikTok, it was just a newer iteration of Vine. And if we kept Vine around, if Twitter never just shelved Vine, there could have been a legitimate competitor. And who knows? Maybe if the government didn't hate Elon Musk so much, that would be the deal. Be like, nope, we have a very, very similar app, and we're just going to re-release Vine. And they just make Vine here in the U.S. I don't know. There's a lot of, I guess, threads for this particular problem that you would have to consider. But an outright ban seems illegal. Also, it seems suspect that all of our data is getting sent back. So that doesn't seem so good. I don't know if you could just make another app, because a big thing with apps is a point of critical mass of when you have enough users. Like, a lot of users are on a social network because they're already past that point of critical mass. So it's beneficial to be on it. So just to make another one when everyone's already on TikTok, that seems problematic. It'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting. LOL, the government doesn't hate Elon. They award him a vast majority of his money. That's willfully misunderstanding the situation. Jeff's Corner office. The government doesn't hate Elon. They award him a vast majority of his money. You think they're like, oh, like, we're just going to give money to Elon? You think that's how it works? I'm sure you're right. I'm sure your statement in no way could be fact checked. I'm pretty sure the government has an Elon meeting, and they're like, how much money should we give Elon? And it just goes right into his bank account. You are... I can tell you are a very extremely informed individual. That is what's happening. They have the official Elon committee, and they just send him money. They're like, yo, how much money do you need today? Are you going on a trip? You going to Cabo soon? Do you need a new yacht? Do you need a new car? Do you guys need a new office? And they just give him money. Just straight up give him money. I've heard about that. That's exactly what I heard about. Give him money, dude. Misunderstands the entire concept of contract work. But yeah, no, it's just money. They get his routing number, they get his account number, and they just send it to him. Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Let's see what's going on in the world of options. If you want to get the same options analysis that I use, it's pinned to the top of chat right now. You could get a 2-week trial, try it out, see if it's for you. If it is, great, stick to it. Keep your account. And if it's not, don't forget to delete it. But obviously, this is the only options and analytics tool I use, because all the other ones are baloney. I know there's a lot of popular ones that people talk about. They follow on Twitter. They tweet all this, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, they promote incorrect data. They don't do proper analytics of their data. They don't know what they're talking about. This group right here at Spot Gamma, these are people with the pedigree, with the credentials, who are actually legitimately experts in the world of options trading. So with that being said, if you actually want a tool built by experts in the world of options trading to improve your options trading, this is it. This is it right here. Check it out, Spot Gamma. You guys see me using it every single day. It has a big influence on what I do and don't do on a daily basis, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. They have a great education system of like how to use all their platform and what stuff means, what it doesn't mean, the breakdowns. I mean, even a person like me who's been trading options for years and years and years, I learned quite a bit from the team running Spot Gamma. So check it out, pinned to the top of chat. In the description of the video, you do get a 2-week trial. And on that note, we're actually seeing how options are picking up. I wouldn't be so surprised if the price is about to follow. You have the 0 DTE right here, the notional delta. The purple line is the all expiration notional delta, and then the white line is the price. So the price axis is over here on the left, the notional delta is over here on the right, and then obviously time is the x-axis. And it's interesting to see when it's all going together, who's aggressive, is it call buying, is it put buying, who's selling. You could get a lot of useful information from this, but even what we're seeing literally right now in real time is price vomited with options Then it's going flat right as options are starting to pick up. And I could tell you more specifically, it's because people started buying calls at 9:48. How cool is that? It's not necessarily puts. Puts have been going flat, but right at 9:48, people are like, time to start loading up on the call positions. So let's see how aggressive they can get. But you can see the exact moment it started to turn, while that whole time puts are going flat. So what's going to be interesting, if puts turn to the upside, that would be suggestive that people are taking their profits on puts. And then that's going to make things even more bullish because of what it would do to the delta notional. But right here, I mean, you could literally see the exact moment people started buying calls. Very, very useful in my opinion. Very, very useful in my opinion. You right now have Bitcoin getting smacked from about 74 all the way down to 72, about a 2K hit on Bitcoin. Rumble chilling. Rumble does not care what the overall market's doing today. It is looking long and strong. Rumble currently up 7%, while gold slightly in the green, Bitcoin slightly in the green, and everything else on my watch list is in the red, which is not so good for my new positions of my Nvidia calls and my Meta calls for next Friday. Probably should have taken those profits a little bit ago. Rumble don't give an F. I fully agree. Fully agree. All right. Let's see what's going on. My account, unfortunately, taking a bit of a hit this morning. Options. SPY, trade options, buy. All right. I have this queued up just in case I want to do a quick little scalp trade to pay for my dinner tonight. Oh, man. This market is looking heavy. Excuse me, my apologies. It's because that 60 to 70 pound tiger is giving me some sniffles. I just refuse to take antihistamines. I mean, one of these days my body's going to grow up and act like an adult. I feel like allergies are just such a kid thing. I know that's not right. I know there's grown ass people who die from allergies every year, but it just feels like it's for kids. It feels like it's immature of me to have allergies, you know? And it's really weird because I only developed my allergies in my adulthood, which riddle me that. Why did I not have allergies my entire youth and then I got allergies? Like, what does that mean? That's a little bit crazy, you know? That's a little bit crazy. Me, a grown adult with a peanut allergy, that's what I'm saying. It feels embarrassing, doesn't it? I'm right there with you. Granted, my allergy can't kill me the way yours could, or like one of those crazy like shellfish allergies. But it feels like you're kind of, whoa, dude, the tech sector is getting smoked today. Smoked today. Brother. What in tarnation? What in tarnation? Golly. 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 Oh, we got the old breakdowns. All right. If you are in the Discord, Piper has been ready to rip. I'm giving you guys the Piper strategy right meow. Hang on one quick second. Let me make sure I type it in properly. I have not personally traded yet. All right. No typos. No typos like yesterday. All right. If you are in the Discord, what is today? Today is the 13th, the first day of the new trading competition. Piper is firing off. Let me make sure I typed everything. Nope, I did not type it properly. Typo. All right, if you are in the Discord, Piper just fired off. And if you want to be in the Discord, I will pin the link right here. You could join for free. If you're like, hey, it really sounds cool to be in an awesome trading community. I've heard it's the best degenerate trading community on the entire internet. And you heard right. Those are not just rumors. But you could join for free. Pinned to the top of chat. Make sure the code Goonie is applied. That's how you get your first month for free. You get my trades. You get Piper signals. You get private lectures on the weekend. You get other community members' trades. There's sports gambling. There's gaming. There's just good old vibes. Good old vibes, you know? So check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. I think you're really going to like it. A lot of people are absolutely crushing it, making metric buttloads of money. Metric buttloads, that would be. I do need to check one thing. Ooh. Can I get lucky? Can I get lucky? Can I get lucky? All right. I'm throwing out a Hail Mary to see if I can get a good fill. I'm trying to not chase it to the downside. I'm seeing if the market will come to me. I'm trying to show a little bit of, like I said, the monk-like discipline. I need to represent that in my entire life. But if it vomits, maybe the trade just goes without me. At least I will be able to bask in my rumble gains. Come on, get me my fill. Get me my fill. Nope. No fill for Matt. All right, I just need to be patient. I don't need to chase. The market's going to be here all day. The market's going to be here all day. This is just calm, cool, collected. The market will come to me. Remember, good people make money. I like to think that I'm a good person, so if I'm meant to make money today, it should happen. Right? Is that how it works? Good people make money? Still no fill. I might be set a little bit too high. Oh, I just need to be patient. I'm not moving it. I'm not moving. I am not chasing this down. I put out the value that I want. I put out the value that I am willing to sell this premium for. And if no one wants to buy it off of me, they're not going to buy it off of me. And that's just the skinny on the situation. Yesteryear's Matt, I would have been chasing this thing the entire way down. The entire way down. All right. Now I'm kind of getting mad. I mean, I've shown patience for a couple minutes now. How have I not gotten a fill? Well, this is crazy. I'm just getting unlucky. I'm at the midpoint. I'm just not getting I'm just not that guy, you know? I'm just not having, I guess, main character energy. Puts dumped right there. Look at this. This is why you should get on SpotGamma. Check that out. Someone got some serious puts. Ooh. Speaking of that. All right. I just got my fill. All right, if you are in the Discord, I am putting this up ASAP. And also, if you're in the Discord, know that I had a lot of patience for this to get filled. And honestly, if I had more patience, it looks like right now I probably could have gotten an even better fill. But it is what it is. It is what it is. A tablespoon of local honey a day for allergies. You know, I've heard that from a lot of people. Is it true? Is there any scientific research to that a tablespoon of honey like actually helps with allergies, or is that like kind of like an old wives' tale type of a situation? Does anyone know actually? All right, I'm going to set an alert for an additional breakdown. The market's been getting smoked this morning. Rumble's looking phenomenal. The only other thing I need to do... Whoa, why is that alert set up? Don't need that. Definitely don't need this. All I need to do is set up an additional alert at today's intraday high. Intraday high. Intraday high. All right. Alert set at the intraday high, intraday low, and until those are met, there's probably not much to do. Could just be Chop City. Who knows? Very, very eagerly paying attention to Rumble. Rumble. Remember, my next target is 859. We're currently at 849, 850, so a couple cents to go. And then from there, I'm watching 889. But I expressed this in my update video yesterday, and I expressed it again this morning. If this is not on your squeeze watch list or your watch list in general, you gotta pay attention because it is looking like one hot tamale. People are talking about Mara. Mara, man. Mara's not doing anything. It's up 90 cents after getting pummeled from 32. What? Why are people commenting on Mara as if it's doing something special? It's doing nothing right now. Roku, maybe getting some traction to go back up after getting slaughtered by its earnings, but looks like trash. Also looking like trash. Yeah, maybe a bit of reversion and you could just risk this recent low. So the risk isn't too bad. You have the upside gap fill at 71. You have another upside gap fill all the way at 91, but it's down for a good reason. It's because its earnings were like horrible, absolutely horrible. So, I mean, I don't mind the risk and reward, but I think there's just, in terms of capital efficiency, I think there's better things to do with your money because we all have a limited amount of capital. So why not use your capital on what you perceive to be the best opportunity? They meant to say Mullen. Yeah, don't. How is that piece of shit doing anyway? Oh, wow. Color me surprised. It's horrible. In fact, within cents of an all-time low. Another piece of shit is AMC. Surprise, surprise. Shitty company looking shitty. GME is actually catching a bid, doing far better than Mullen, far better than AMC. The fact that people still think Mullen's going to work, the fact that people still think that somehow you're going to like get money out of AMC, Mullen, any of those is just, it's insanity. We're literally living in a hype FOMO like meme cycle right now in real time. And those ones aren't going up. We're living in a world where every random crypto that is literally pitched as a joke is somehow making thousands of % return. And then the ones that have been also clearly referred to as memes in the world of stocks, not taking off. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? It means no one cares about them. Literally no one cares about AMC anymore. Why would they? There's like a little cohort of like losers who don't know what they're talking about telling you it's still a great opportunity. Same thing with Mullen. And they're already in the wood chipper, just getting destroyed and they don't even know it. They can't even, like, they just cannot understand it. The other way, of course, is just to make mead with honey, drink that, then not care about the allergies. So it's all, the secret's in the mead. I actually had some mead 2 weekends ago, and like it's just not a common drink to ever really get, but it's pretty good. Like I don't know why. Are you saying Cum Rocket is a joke? No, that one's real. That one's actually going to be probably the newest world currency. Maybe we'll give it. Oh, all right. Where are we at? Let's do a little bit of a mid-range recovery, maybe, or is it just going to completely break down? A little bit of a mid-range recovery here on the SPY and the Qs. We'll see what happens. What's going on with spot gamma? What are flat? Options are now flat ever since someone came in with serious size and just destroyed the puts. That is a high amount of longer dated puts being purchased right there. I mean, you can see it perfectly at 10 a.m. Boom, destroyed. Even the calls are starting to dip right now. The two top lines are the all expiration, the 0DT calls. Once again, all from Spot Gamma in the description of the video. But pinned to the top of chat right now is the official Goonie Discord. I'm telling you, this is a different trading group, a different mindset than you're going to find anywhere else. The entire purpose of this Discord is to get into the actual like statistical facts of the market, not this like, oh, this chart looks good, oh, these technicals are blah blah blah. That, I mean, folks, thousands of people try to do that, and 95% of them are net losers, which has to tell you that that approach to active trading is not the profitable approach. It doesn't make sense. If everyone's doing the exact same thing of like, look at, here's a wedge, here's head and shoulders. I have a gut feeling about Tesla. I have a gut feeling about NVIDIA. Look at what I saw in this dark pool. If it's the same stuff that everyone's doing, and then you also simultaneously know the fact that 90 to 95% of active traders are losing money, don't do what everyone's doing. This isn't some like insane Einstein, Hawking, Oppenheimer level of logic here. If everyone's doing the same thing and almost all of those people are losing money, don't do what they're doing. And that's all they do. Here in this Discord, we do it differently. An extreme amount of statistical analysis, a lot of conditional probabilities. I don't want to bore you with a math discussion right now, but that's what the entire purpose of this is if you are in condition A, what are the chances of B, C, and D playing out? Which one is the reasonable bet to take at that moment in time? It's all backed by math and analysis of all historic trading data. So if that's something that at least interests you, try it out for the first month. It's free. And if it's your speed and you're like, oh, this makes sense, it's like kind of your aha light bulb moment, great, stick around. And if it's not for you, the first month is free anyway, no harm, no foul. And right after the stream, I will update the database so you guys can get in today. If I don't do it manually, it just updates like once every 24 hours. Coin popping rum for the long term, brothers. I hope so. Rum's looking good right now. I cared about 836. The fact that we're on top of that, I very, very much like. From there, I'm looking at 859, and then from there, I'm watching 889. The SPY got smoked this morning, bouncing back a little bit. I have a feeling it's because energy and financials are probably doing better because tech still looks horrible. Energy's actually been popping all day and financials have been popping all day. So you might be thinking to yourself, why is the SPY bouncing but the Qs are not looking so good? It's because of the other subsectors, namely energy and financials. Those are the two other big sectors in the S&P 500. They're having a pretty solid day. The other ones to pay attention to, utilities are flat, industrials are picking up. Healthcare did get hit, recovering nicely. And I'm trying to think of any other ones. Energy, financials. Here's tech. See how tech is getting hit. So tech is very clearly the weak sector of the day. Energy is fine. Financials are looking pretty good. Healthcare is doing good. Utilities and industrials are the best sector of the day. And then also, just since we're talking about the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the small cap sector, the Russell 2000 also looking pretty freaking good. Pretty freaking good. All right, so we already did the trade. Oh, I need to document that just so we have the official. So YouTube was bullish and it got reversed. Rum was bearish. It got reversed. So two opposite trades, and then they both made 135. So after day one of the newest trading competition, tied. The first step is the same step for both Rumble chat and YouTube chat. So we're going to be waiting for tomorrow. Let's see if someone can get ahead, or let's see what's going on. But I mean, YouTube, you really need to do some soul searching here. Obviously, I know Rumble's a bunch of competitors and they kind of want to put the nail in the coffin of which chat is the better trading chat. And it's very, very difficult to come back from a 3-0 deficit. Right now, Rumble is up 2-0. So YouTube, dig deep, find it somewhere in your heart, your reason to actually compete. You got to find your reason to actually compete. All right, let's check this out. 5-minute bearish, 10-minute bearish, 30-minute attempting to save itself. 5-minute bearish, 10-minute bearish, 30-minute on the S&P 500 trying to save itself from this breakdown. If you're watching the S&P 500 futures market, check out 5,233. That would be the key line. And if you look at the NASDAQ, bearish, 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 very clearly bearish, already breaking down like the 5 and the 10 clearly red, the 30-minute going red. They're in the short term on an intraday basis. As of now, looking at this on the tech sector, it would be like kind of crazy to be bullish. It'd be like you would just be an insane person. An absolute insane person to be bullish on. Look at this. The EMA brutally red. 5, 10, and the 30-minute was green for a long time. And look at this, already converting back to going red. Obviously, with the success in the utility sector, the energy, and really the financial sector, the SPY's holding on, but still the 5 and the 10 are bearish. Like if you're a short-term day trader, what are you looking at if you're bullish? There's just not the underlying data. The trends are not, you're fighting the trend, and fighting the trend is just, it might work out for you every once in a while, but it is not a repeatable, consistent, positive EV strategy. Matt, can you make whether being current on bearish? Can you see whether being bearish on current TA makes sense on TGT? I mean, the trend is clearly to the upside. It depends on your time frame. If I'm looking at like the weekly, monthly, that's looking good. On the daily, lower highs, lower lows, there is a downside gap fill, but the overall trend's still the up. So it depends on your time frame. I don't know if you're looking at the minute chart. I don't know if you're looking at the yearly chart. I don't know what time frame you're looking at, but the medium time frame bullish, shorter time frame a bit bearish. There is a downside gap fill. I don't know what time frame you're on. Technicals and bullish or bearish, you cannot answer that without a time frame, because different time frames look completely different. Like they might have no relation whatsoever. You could have the bullish stock ever, and yet on an individual day, it could be horrifically red. And vice versa. You could have the worst stock ever, and individual days, it could still be very, very positive. So you gotta specify a time frame. Matt, is your trade on local? Nope, it's all in Discord. I eventually post it on locals, but it just takes some time. So all the fastest real-time stuff is all in locals, because that's where all the other traders are. I mean, like every single day we have a huge group of people in voice chat, like sharing ideas, and some days are slower and we already all make our profits, so we just kind of BS and talk about whatever's going on in the world. But no, there's a bunch of people that I'm looking at them. They're in there right now, probably talking about some good stuff. I'm sure they're doing an analysis on either the SPY or the Qs. They might be talking about Rumble. We have some crypto traders in there. But it's all in the Discord. Locals, I post stuff on locals because it has the capability to do like email blasts to everyone, because they give me the emails while Discord doesn't. But locals is more of the membership management and the payment management system to get into Discord. So I know a lot of people in the world of trading communities, they use Patreon. I've chosen to use locals because locals is owned and operated by Rumble, and I like supporting Rumble. So if you've ever been in a trading group before where it was all like managed through Patreon, that's how you should think of locals. But on top of it, it's better because it also has some like Substack capabilities to send out articles and emails and basically get in contact with your audience. So basically, locals is a like new and improved Patreon. You can get the emails off Discord. No, you can't. Well, okay, you can. It depends on sign up, but most people aren't going to share their emails. You can get individual DMs, but still it does not have Substack capabilities. And then also, if you do it all directly through Discord, they take a higher percentage cut. So there, for various reasons, locals, it's easier to email your entire group. It's cheaper and it has better management. Like it's kind of in all the major categories I care about, it kind of wins across the board. All right, let's see what's going on in the world of options. So these puts heavily bought, and then some are getting unloaded back. The 0DT puts have been flat all day, and right now we see some calls coming in, a little bit more for all expiration, not so much for, it is interesting right here. The 0DT for calls and puts, the green line and the light blue are kind of flat. while the orange line, which is the all expiration calls, and then the dark blue line, all expiration puts, those have been the ones that have been moving a bit more today. And if we put all that together to get the delta notional, you're going to see craziness in the all expiration because of that put situation. And then if you look at the all, like the 0DT, it's just kind of jagged, but a little bit flat. So you're seeing a slight uptick here, which is kind of being mimicked by a slight uptick in the price of the SPY, at least just what we're seeing from 10 to about 10.20. But we'll see how things shake out. Rum currently going flat. So let me just set an alert to know if this breaks out of its intraday high at 8.56. Like I said, we do know that there's some resistance around 8.59. So that alert is set. So let's check out what else is going on. XLE giving a little bit back. Don't forget at 10:30, we are going to get a report on the crude oil inventory. So if you're looking at crude, this is about to have some volatility. It's coming out in about 7 minutes. Crude actually having a really solid pump up to almost $80 a barrel. But like I said, with this report, the way when we watch inflation reports and all of that, and there's craziness in the world of SPY and Qs, this crude oil inventory report, there's going to be craziness in the world of crude oil right here. This is the CL is the futures contract for crude oil, currently trading at just over $79 a barrel. So that's coming out at 10:30 a.m. ET. So like I said, in about 7 minutes. And then also, don't forget at 1 p.m. today, we are going to be getting the results of right here, the 30-year bond auction. So right here, auction date 3/13/24. They are offering 22 billion, and we are going to find out. We are going to find out very shortly if it was good, if it was bad, but that comes out at 1 p.m. ET today. For those of you who are curious, the line in the sand is the high yield is 4.36% last time, and the allotted at the high yield was 82%. And the bid to cover ratio was 2.4. So those are the lines in the sand. Bid to cover is 2.4, high yield 4.36, and the amount allotted at the high yield was 82.55%. So those are the lines in the sand that people will be comparing today's 30-year auction with, because you always compare it to the previous one. Are things improving? Are they getting worse? What's the appetite situation? So anyway, that call comes out at 1 p.m. ET today. Right. What are we doing with options? Are flat right now. Price is picking up. The next major thing is oil. While we're waiting for oil to come out, let's go down our list. Okay, so yesterday the SPY had its highest closing value ever, but not its highest value ever. The Qs did not have its highest value or its highest closing value, but still pretty close. If you look at gold, it hit an all-time high on Friday of last week, and it's hanging out within striking distance. Bitcoin hit an all-time high while we were sleeping, just below 74,000. NVIDIA had a great day yesterday. I bought calls into that. Today, I'm not feeling so good, but really it's a non-trending day. It's an inside day, which means that the high and the low thus far are within the high and the low of the previous trading bar. The high is lower and the low is higher, so it's an inside trading bar. Same situation with Meta. I liked Meta's setup. I thought we were going to break out and go. I liked its close. I liked everything about it. But yet, because tech is so weak this morning, we're just not seeing a big movement. Rum is having a phenomenal day. I'm looking for the test and the breakout of 859, which would set up my next test of 889. AMD, not looking good. Lower highs, lower lows. This semiconductor play is starting to struggle. On the flip side, SMCI is actually looking a little bit better. Higher highs, higher lows over the past 3 days. So a little bit of a specific strength in SMCI relative to AMD. Tesla looks like it's officially breaking down. I want to be very, very clear here. I like Tesla in the long term. I think this is going to be a very, very strong company. I think it is a strong company, but I think in the short term, it's running into quite a few headwinds. It missed on earnings, or I should say, the reaction to earnings was a very negative one. Tried to recover from that, couldn't, got smacked, broke down, tried to save itself at the bottom of this wedge from Monday, February the 5th, around 175, and danced around there for a little bit. We appear to be officially breaking down right now. I don't think it's that crazy of a play to play this down to 164 by any means. Apple also weak. I've said it in a couple of videos. I've said it in a couple newsletter updates. I still think this one's going all the way down to 166. Big push, comes down, lower highs, lower lows, cannot hold the trend line, breaks it. Then, so the whole antitrust thing going on in Europe with its music streaming really caused it to hit. Try to catch itself at the arbitrary level of 169, bounces a little bit, but seems to be resuming its trip back down to the low that we saw on Thursday, October the 26th. Coins looking pretty good. That's just because Bitcoin's looking good, higher highs, higher lows, a little bit of weakness yesterday, lower high, lower low, and then right away we have that V-shaped recovery. So if you look at these three bars right here, looks kind of just a V, which maybe that means that you put in a new local minima at 241, which could be a good anchor point, and we'll see if this one can keep going. Netflix actually showing some strength, gapped up on earnings, went sideways, fake out, breakout, then had a real breakout, has recently been consolidating, and it shows maybe the initial steps for wanting to break and continue to the upside. Microsoft, range bound, fake out, breakout this morning, got smacked, but still looking for the official close above 415, 416 for Microsoft to have another leg to the upside. Amazon, similar situation, gaps up on earnings, sideways, fake out, breakout, comes right back down, but kind of like going the way of Netflix. First attempt, the false one, and then maybe the second attempt is like the legitimate break and hold. So paying attention to Amazon as well. IBIT, this will be perfectly correlated with Bitcoin. ETH just below 4,000. Solana looking really strong at 152. Oil, we're waiting for that report to come out in 2 minutes. Bonds, basically, we put in this high in December. First official rejection, early Feb. Second official rejection right here, early March. And right now it's right at its EMA cloud. The VIX1T and meme. All right. Those are the major things. I suppose in the next couple minutes, what are we at? 2 minutes, exactly 2 minutes till we get the crude oil inventory report. What are my thoughts on ARM? This is another semiconductor play. Good earnings, pops up, goes sideways. Still maybe technically putting in a higher low. So I would love to see 121 or 121.26 hold above the previous low of 115.46 just to keep intact the pattern of higher lows, which would be suggestive of bullishness. So I'd be watching that. Another thing you could pay attention to is literally just something like this trend line. Just we kind of have this downward sloping highs just to see if you push and hold above. But really, by the time you get a close above 140-ish, it could be interesting. So right now, bullishness, some consolidation. In my book, it hasn't actually switched to being bearish yet. Obviously, it would if it breaks down below 115, and then especially if it can't hold 110, that would be bearish, and then I'd be looking for this downside gap fill. But at the moment in time, I would say the bulls are still in control. It just needed a bit of consolidation. All right, crude oil inventory report coming out in 1 minute. That's in the top right of your screen. So let's wait and see how that goes. Let's see if there's any impact on XLE, which will have an impact on the SPY, which is in the top left of your screen. Tech has been flat all day. The only reason SPY is drifting up and tech is going sideways is because XLF is trending up. The tech sector weak, energy financials looking good, and then healthcare has a nice recovery. Utilities going flat, industrials. So industrials are winning the day, XLI. Energy's looking fine. Financials are looking good. So financials are good. Industrials are great. Healthcare has had a really strong recovery. Tech is not looking the best. I'm trying to think of any other ones. But all right, for the meantime, we're about to get this report. Let's see what happens in the world of energy. Should be coming out right about now. Right about now. Quick pop there on oil. How much is it going to pop? Obviously, if oil goes up, we would expect XLE to go up. And if XLE goes up, that should help the SPY. Actually might push it above this recent high of 516.59. Tech catching a little bit of a bid on this, even though it's not the most related thing. But let's see how it settles, because who knows? First move might be the wrong move, or it could be the very right move. But right at, on the report, obviously a decent amount of volatility in the world of crude oil. House is voting to pass the bill to ban TikTok. Here we go. Let's see if they're going to ban it. On motion to suspend the rules and passed as amended. So, yes, it went through. So remember, that's not a done deal, though. Just because it's done in the House, that means it gets kicked over to the Senate. And on that video that we saw this morning, the odds of the Senate just accepting it as is extremely low. But it looks like there was actually bipartisan support for this. Republicans, Democrats, 184, 145. The total 331. There were a couple nays, 13 and 43. We had some no votes. But it looks like the yays are clearly dominating, 331 versus 49. But once again, all this does is punt the ball over to the Senate, and the odds of the Senate just accepting it as is extremely statistically low. Extremely statistically low. So it's going to take some time, but that's a wide disparity. Oil still holding. It's pushing the SPY up a little bit because it's probably pushing XLE up right there. See how XLE caught that bid as well. But what's interesting today is XLF. And for whatever reason, industrials are having a great day. Industrial. The XLI, EF, UV, all of those are the subcomponents of the S&P 500. So visually, if you want to see what that actually means, you could go to FinViz and look at their S&P 500 heat map. This is the, so right here, here's tech, here's consumer services, consumer defensive, healthcare, financials. So you see how there's just these major subsectors: industrials, real estate, energy. So obviously tech has the biggest influence, financials have a big influence, healthcare has a big influence, energy has a big influence. So you just have all these major different subsectors. So it's kind of nice to know, like, okay, what parts are doing well, what parts aren't doing so well. And obviously why I like to really check the NASDAQ and tech itself is because it's just such a highly weighted aspect of the S&P 500. So is healthcare, though, to be fair. Financials as well. That's why it's good to just kind of zip through all of them and see what in the world is or isn't going on. So even though the SPY caught a little bit of a bid there, 5 minute, 10 minute still bearish. The 30 minute, just to give a little bit of hope to the bulls in chat today, it did save itself from this breakdown. In the bottom left of your screen, you can see on the 30 minute on the S&P 500 futures market, it did save itself at the 48 EMA. Obviously the 5 minute broke down, the 10 minute broke down, and the actual clouds went red. But the 30 minute, little bit of hope attempting to save itself. On the flip side, tech getting demolished. The NASDAQ NQ is the NASDAQ contract on the futures market. Red, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, all breaking down. Obviously on the daily charts, we've been in a strong bull push ever since the end of October of 23. So the daily clearly green, which, I mean, depending on when you say the term, like, don't fight the trend, I mean, if you're more of a swing trader, the trend is clearly to the upside. But anyway, the SPY and the Q's trying to catch some sort of a bid here. Options looking weird, really. Wait, what just happened? I don't know. I get that we're recovering a little bit, but every so often we're just seeing a big hit on the put side, like as in someone's purchasing a lot of puts. And right here, you can see they did it 0 DTE. Someone buying heavy puts on the SPY at this point. Matt, do you think oil will spike up with Copa America this year in the U.S.? People will come here to watch Argentina Mesa and travel. I don't think that would represent enough travel to impact the price of oil. I think people will travel, but not like there's much bigger macroeconomic influences on the price of oil, namely what is OPEC and their allies going to do. I don't think you're going to see an entire global commodity change for a sporting event because people are flying. It's just, yeah, a lot will be used, but I think it's still like a drop in the bucket to like what Saudi Arabia is going to do, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and what OPEC does and the oil cuts and all that. It's too small. Is it over? The votes are still coming in, so I guess it just is officially going to be punted over to the Senate now, which, once again, just to clarify, they are not going to. The odds of the Senate accepting it as is very low. TikTok bill opens Pandora's box. Let's see what Marjorie Taylor Greene has to say.
Recognized for 4 minutes.
One of our favorite
Mr.
political
Speaker.
characters.
I rise today as the only member of Congress that has ever been banned by social media. On January 2nd of 2022, Twitter banned me, banned my personal account on which I was campaigning for Congress, raising money, and using my free speech to inform the voters in my district they can vote for me. This was not by a company owned by China. This was by American-owned Twitter. This came on the heels of our own United States government working with big tech and working with social media companies to censor and ban Americans' free speech. I believe that this bill can cause future problems. It's opening Pandora's box, and I'm opposed to this bill. Most Americans don't trust the United States government because of our experience dealing with it. Never forget that the United States government also was the one that provided the Russia hoax to Americans. It also worked to ban Americans' free speech. It also has worked in so many ways to illegally, warrantless spy on Americans through FISA. If we wanted to be serious about stopping a foreign adversary, if we wanted to be serious about stopping China, we would stop China from buying our U.S. farmland. We would raise up our American energy independence. We would also stop the Green New Deal and not rely on China, who owns and operates 85% of the battery market worldwide. There are dangers that lie ahead in this. This is really about controlling Americans' data. And if we cared about Americans' data, then we would stop the sale of Americans' data universally, not just with China. There's some further issues. This is a Pandora's box. What's to stop Congress or the United States government in the future from forcing the sale of another social media company claiming that it's protecting Americans' data from foreign adversaries? I think we could see in the future another Russia, and possibly force the sale of X, as many members in this body claim that Elon Musk is altering the algorithms of X. By the way, it was Elon Musk's purchase of X that restored my social media account on Twitter and allowed me to have my free speech back on Twitter. There's also members of this body, the Democrats are claiming that election meddling can happen on social media. Well, we can never forget Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. We can never forget the election meddling that happened there. And by the way, American-owned Facebook and Instagram is where most of the garbage, like the gender lies and the woke lies, exist. Many Americans and many teenagers believe awful things, and they don't just see them on TikTok, they see them on Facebook and Instagram too. I don't think this will accomplish what the goal is to accomplish. So there's other concerns, I think, here, is that
Rumble's
when the
catching a
government
bit
moves
again.
into forcing the sale of TikTok, who is going to buy it? That's the question that we should be asking. Who
Rumble?
is going to buy it? Who
Rumble?
will be the next to control the data of over 170
Getting 5
million
minute getting rejected,
Americans?
10 minute getting rejected.
Are we going to trust Mark Zuckerberg to control their data? I certainly don't. By the way, most of the time, my posts on Facebook
Calls
are
just got hit,
shadow-banned,
more puts
and I
being
certainly
purchased.
don't
Be
have the
careful
reach
being bullish
on
today.
that social media
The underlying
account.
data is
I
not
think that
in
there's
agreement.
many other ways to protect data, and I think this body is capable of it if
The
we choose
gentlelady's
to.
time has expired.
I oppose the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I oppose the bill. What's this person say? A lot of people are not digging this. Oh, even Pelosi. Is Pelosi letting it rip? What's P-Dog got to say?
The gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Best
Speaker.
trader
I thank
ever.
the gentleman for yielding and for his leadership on this very important issue, and I thank the distinguished chairwoman of the Energy and Commerce Committee and associate myself with her remarks, as well as with Mr. Pallone's. I thank Mr. Christian Murphy and Mr. Gallagher, Chairman Gallagher of the Select Committee, on China for their great leadership, bringing this legislation forward to the Committee of Jurisdiction, Legislative Jurisdiction. Mr. Chair, I have a few points to make, and it's interesting to hear this respectful debate. First of all, this is not a ban on TikTok. I'm a grandmother of teenagers. I understand the entertainment value, the educational value, the communication value, the business value for some business on this. This is not an attempt to ban TikTok. It's an attempt to make TikTok better. Tic-tac-toe, a winner, a winner.
Tic-tac-toe.
And here's what I have to say.
Oh,
the people
win
of
hair.
China have come forth. The Tibetans have come forth and said on TikTok in China, they are suppressed. They cannot put their message out. Not only that, the Chinese government misrepresents the situation in Tibet. In Hong Kong, well, let me just tell you about Hong Kong. During the Taiwan election, TikTok into Taiwan that the Uyghurs, on whom there is a genocide exercised by the Chinese government, they have told the people in Taiwan that the Uyghurs like that genocide. And they told them that the people of Hong Kong like the destruction of their democracy. They don't frame it that way, but that's their message. And again, suppressing the communication from Tibet. And then just yesterday on the steps, we heard from the Taiwan people, we heard from the Tibetans, we heard from the Hong Kong, and we heard from a woman whose husband was arrested because of his communication with somebody with a shared view. So this is controlled by the Chinese Communist government. But forgetting that, if you can, I can't, think of this.
Rumble just announced a new partnership.
The Chinese government will control the algorithm. They can change it any time.
Does the
coming
gentleman
into the
from
United
New Jersey
States.
wish to allocate
I urge
more
a
time?
yes vote. Thank you.
The primary counter-arguments to this bill seem to be shallow. It doesn't do everything I want, and Facebook's really mean, and I don't want them to make money. So then what means you owe China access to sell our data and access to manipulate the minds of Americans? I don't think so. This is a very specific bill, very specific tailored. It does not harm American companies or American individuals. You know it. You got to read it. Pass the bill. Oh, maybe I need to read it more because he's saying that it's tailored well.
Gentleman's recognized.
From Ohio, Mr. Latta.
Gentleman's recognized.
Catching a little bit of a bid.
The CEO of TikTok appeared before the Energy and Commerce Committee and admitted to me during questioning that ByteDance has access to U.S. data. This should be an alarm to every TikTok user. There is no reason why the Chinese Communist Party should be in control of an app that can access information on a user's phone. And because companies who are owned or linked to the Chinese Communist Party are forced to comply with their laws, ByteDance and its employees are taking orders from this communist regime. This is not a ban, but provides communist-controlled ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, a choice. If ByteDance divests their ownership of TikTok,
why do some get more time and some get less?
U.S. users. I urge all my colleagues to support this legislation. I yield back the balance of my time.
Reserve.
He didn't have any balance. Well, seems like they're all against it. Pretty overwhelming yay vote to get rid of. I mean, it's not really getting rid of it. It's literally just pushing the vote over to the Senate because that's how. Who do you trust to run TikTok? The U.S. government, the Chinese government, or Rumble? 85% say Rumble. You should vote. You should vote. All right, what else do we have going on? I just want to see if there's any other breaking news. If not, you guys did send in quite a few reacts. Wait, wasn't this one of our favorite ones? Oh, this one. Dude. Twitch streamer is mad at viewers for not subscribing. This is a pretty OG historic clip on the internet. If you ask me, this is pretty good commentary on the current social situation.
It doesn't really matter how much money you make or how much money you have. That's really the thing, because I'm not asking you for a large financial contribution. If it cost $20 to sub, $20 is quite a bit of money. $20 is you can get a full meal for $20. And the difference of $20 and eating a meal is in that $20. Like, that's where it is. But a sub is $5. At maximum, in whatever your currency is, it's maybe $10. And it doesn't matter how broke you are. If you have time to watch Twitch, you have $10, truly. If you don't have $10, you probably don't have time to watch Twitch because you should be working. You should be trying to earn money. It's not a ton. It's not like a ton of money. So being like, I'm broke, I can't afford to sub, that doesn't really track. What you mean to say is, I'm so irresponsible with my money, I can't support the entertainment that I enjoy.
You know, I think she's on to something, but I think she's being too generous. For all of those of you in here who do not send me $1,000 a day for the entertainment and education and life lessons I provide, you're broke, and you're broke because you're just not using your time properly. So to everyone in here who does not send me $1,000 a day, you are the problem. Look in the mirror. $1,000 should not impact your life. $1,000 a day should not impact your life. So if you're not sending it to me, you're just saying you're financially irresponsible. That's all you're saying. That's what I am hearing loud and clear, that you need to send me $1,000 a day. And if you can't, it's your problem. It is your problem. Just grow up, be mature. That's Dylan Mulvaney, right? That's a good one. Rum, 859. My next target is 889. 889. All right, let's fire off some hot tweets related to Rumble. If you guys could help me, if you're not watching Rum right now, open your eyes. All right, let's fire this off. Is there spacing between this? Perfect. If you're not watching Rum right now, open your eyes. Hey, if you guys are on X, feel free to like and retweet that one. That would be, you know what? Instead of you guys giving me $1,000 today, I give everyone a 1-day pass. So we will resume the individual daily $1,000 payments tomorrow. But today you get a pass if you like and retweet that. So if you don't want to, you could still send me the $1,000. That's completely acceptable. But understand those are your two decisions. You either send me $1,000 or you like and retweet that. And I've memorized everyone who's in chat today. I've memorized everyone in YouTube chat. I've memorized everyone who's in Rumble chat. And I've memorized everyone who's in OnlyFans chat. I have all three groups committed to memory. I will find you. I'm either looking for the like and the retweet, or I'm looking for the payment. And you get to pick. It's up to you. And if you want to test me on it, I'll come knocking. Not only do I memorized it, I know where you all live. I have all of your address. I will show up at your work, and it will be a scene. And you do not want a scene today. You can't. It's a Wednesday. You just want to coast through the day. You cannot afford me making a scene at your place of work today. It would not be a good one. It would not be a good one. But Rum is looking like a hot freaking tamale. A hot tamale. A hoot tamale. What else are we looking at? All right. House passes bill that could lead to TikTok ban. Fight shifts to the Senate. All right. You guys also sent in some reacts. So out of respect for you people taking time out of your day to send in things for me to react to, I'll do it. Oh, well, the first one was literally that. That's awesome. You read my mind. Would you do this for $100 Olive Garden gift card? I don't even know what they're about to do, but the answer is yes. I want to make it so specifically clear. Would you do this for $100 Olive Garden gift card? It doesn't matter what the this is. It's just yes.
Hey, babe. Hey, some girl came up to my window, and she said if I made out with her, she'd give me a $100 gift card to Olive Garden.
Done.
What the fuck?
Isn't that weird?
Why would she ask you that?
I don't know. Look, do you see her? The girl in the pink dress.
Which
right
one?
over there.
What the
right
fuck?
Yeah.
What is this?
That's the Olive Garden gift card.
Why would you do that?
What do you mean?
We're f***ing engaged. Why would you do that?
I love Olive Garden.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that's a good one.
We're borrowing money to pay our rent as citizens in our own country, and we're sending $100 billion to another country.
Facts.
Under what world is that a good idea? It's a
Not our
terrible
world.
idea. The Federal Reserve Chairman has said the problem is urgent. Jamie Dimon, the head of J.P. Morgan Chase, has said the problem is urgent. Nassim Taleb, the author of The Black Swan, has said it is urgent. You have all of these people, some who predicted the crisis in 2008, saying it's an imminent crisis. The debt crisis hangs over us. There's a danger of destroying the dollar and destroying our country.
Hey,
and
brother, you
leadership
already did that.
is concerned about making their plane to Kiev. The Republican leader and the Democrat leader will be on a plane to Kiev, I'm assuming with champagne and pallets of cash. How much oversight do you think there is on pallets of cash? How much is stolen? Well, you'll never know because they have refused to have an inspector general. I've forced at least 2 votes on this. I've been advocating for over a year. I'm not for sending your money to Ukraine. But if you're going to send it, can we at least count how much is being stolen? Ukraine has been on the top 10 list for one of the most corrupt countries in the world, and nobody's watching the money.
Good point. Can we at least count how much is stolen? Today, we learned you shouldn't share a sportsbook ticket pic because a criminal can claim the paper ticket was lost. Using the ticket number could fraudulently claim your winnings. Oh, hey, that's just some good knowledge to have out there. If wrestling is fake, explain this. All right. Get him. Hell yeah. You can't because it's not fake. It's real, as shown by that video. Washington cop's TikTok video that got her a 10-hour suspension without pay. A 10-hour suspension? You can be suspended for 10 hours?
PSA to everyone out there. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm probably speaking for a large majority of other officers out there. If we're driving on the freeway in our police car, get the out of the way. Get the out of the way. If you merge and we follow behind you and we merge too, you're probably in trouble. The best way to find that out is get the out of the way. I can go 90 miles an hour. You can't. You can't do that.
I don't think you
out of the way.
can.
If us officers stay behind you long enough, we can find a reason to pull you over. So you might as well get the out of the way.
Feels like she's admitting things she shouldn't admit, but we all know. Still, a 10-hour suspension is a strange amount of time.
So this is my Yeezy unboxing. So I ordered one of the Yeezy shirts that was $20, and it's the packaging that came in. Cool, I ain't got no problem with that. But y'all got to see this shirt. This is crazy. I swear to God, online, this shit was a T-shirt. This shit is nasty. Yo, I'm not buying shit from Yeezy ever again. This shit is a fucking pillowcase. This is nasty work. Y'all want me to try it on? I'm gonna try it on. Y'all gotta see me in this shit. This shit is nasty work. I'm giving this shit away for free. Anybody want this shirt, y'all gotta have it. Y'all gotta see the way this shirt fit. This shirt is crazy. I swear to God, it was a T-shirt. Look at the picture. The shit was a T-shirt. This shit is nasty.
I mean, it looks like the picture, though.
Yo, I'm never buying nothing from Kanye again. I want me to try it on. A T-shirt. Look at the picture. The shit was a T-shirt.
I mean, he's just skinnier, but it looks it looks like that. He's just a bigger dude, so he's a bit broader. So flare. I don't know, man. I don't think it's that different. I mean, it's obviously a bit different. Like the picture must have been photoshopped or something, but I don't think it's like absurdly.
Can you rate me out of 10?
10.
10? Can you rate my friend out of 10?
Well, to do such a thing is oblivious to the rights of man. You should never rate anybody you don't know out of 10. We are all supposed to live amongst one another and be kind and generous, and I do have a can of Stella. I'll put it away, and I would say that regardless of the can of Stella, but why should I ever rate you? Thank you for being.
Have a great day. Bye. Can you rate me?
Mid. It's all right. He might not be able to do it, but I can. I get paid the big bucks to do this kind of thing. Let's just spot the other girl. Mid. Yeah, mid. I could do it. He might not be able to do it, but mid. They're fine. Done. Easy. Easy peasies. Got that one. To the women in my audience, it's a joke. You're a 10. Maybe. Such a douchebag. It's a joke. We're here to laugh. Don't take life too seriously. None of us survive this game anyway. None of us survive. Don't get mad at me. It's a joke. Calls dipping, puts picking up, brother. Oh, wow. A lot of you guys engaged with this. But if numbers are right, we have about 2,500 people watching right now. And that's funny because I don't see 2,500 likes and retweets. So that's funny, right? Because, hey, wait, let me... Is 41... equal to 2,500. I'm not seeing a Google result, but you're going to have to take my word on this one. I'm pretty sure that is not. Like, feel free to fact check me. I don't want to do this in real time right now, but I'm pretty sure those are not the same. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed out on that day on math class. that this one's hilarious. All right. Okie dokies. Well, folks, that's pretty much it. If you want to trade with me for the remainder of the day and for the remainder of your life, sign up for the Discord. It is free. If you apply the code Goonie, please apply it so I don't have to figure out refunds. Just apply it. And don't sign up and be like, I didn't apply. Can I get the refund? And then it's hard for me to track it down. And then Stripe gets mad at me. Just make sure it's applied. But anyway, I'm going to be hanging out in the Discord for the remainder of the day. I hope to catch you there. Let me double check how my trades are doing as of right now. Up about $400. Not a bad start to the day. Congratulations to both Rumble Chat and YouTube Chat. Day one of the third trading competition. And after day one, the results stand this way. Rumble and YouTube both are up $135, and they actually went the opposite way, but then the wheels reversed it, so it got even more confusing, but both ended up hitting. So congrats to all of you guys, and hope you are rested and relaxed for the next trading competition. Shout out to Meta PCs. Shout out to really every sponsor and affiliate in the link. It's pretty sick that anyone on this planet agrees to partner up with us. So, Spot Gamma, Meta PCs, the fact that they wanted to step up and partner up on this particular show, that's awesome. Folks, whenever you engage with any of the sponsors, affiliates, it means the world to me. Thank you. I hope you have a phenomenal day. I hope you make a buttload of money, and I hope to catch you in the update video later tonight. And then once again, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., bright and early. Update video tonight will be coming out at 7:15. Set your notifications for that on both Rumble and YouTube. And then streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., bright and early. And special shout out very quickly to Rumble, which looks like it is cooking. Remember, the next level on the daily would be 889, and then past 889 is 933. Make sure that is on your watch list because it is cruising. That's what I have for you. Much love. Peace out.